Hello everyone and welcome to some more F1 Manager. Today we're here for the final race before the mid-season break. So, as you can see, Hungary is on the agenda today, and this one is hopefully going to be our best chance at a good result. As you guys know, the strength of our car is low speed, and that is what this circuit is all about. Our second best chance after this is going to be Singapore in a few races time. But for now, we're going to try and take full advantage of this weekend. Qualifying is going to be super important, and also race strategy as well. Either way, if you haven't seen the previous episode, guys, the French Grand Prix at Le Castellet at Paul Ricard, go check it out, link in the top right. But we're going to get into the weekend's action. We have no rain forecast, and we're going to see how we get on after this. We're going to have a 4-week break. If you look at the dates here, 29th of July, the next race is on 26th of August. So a big break between races. So important that we try to end the first half of the season on a higher. So let's get into it. Leave a like if you're going to enjoy. Subscribe for more if you're enjoying the F1 Manager content, and let's get into it. Now, if you're going to enjoy today's episode, leave a like and subscribe. Let's try and smash over 750 likes. I think that's not too far-fetched. And subscribe if you're new, as I'm on the road to 100k. But yeah, here we are then this weekend. In terms of guarantees, we have the qualifying position streak, of course, 2 race guarantee. We've done the first weekend. We've got to try and do a second now and get that bonus, and also guaranteeing P15 with at least 1 car. So no Q3 guarantee because I don't think we're that fast, and also no fast lap guarantee for the race because I'm not too confident when we're going to achieve it. So let's get into it. Incentives as well to look at. Hopefully it's a decent weekend.
The Hungaroring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungaroring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout, and for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. So, without further ado, let's get started.
So straight away getting into the weekend's action, and we're going to start with a hard tyre. The big concern, and again, we're trying to stretch the engine parts out, and as you can see on Seb's car, we have 26% engine, 30% ERS, and 28% gearbox. It's even worse for Lance with 25, 26, and 24. I think if we get through FP1 with Lance, we'll be lucky without having any failures. Either way, both cars, both drivers on 22 laps of fuel. We're going to go for a nice long first run and get that feedback underway. So Ocon's had a crash apparently. Ooh, that's a big one.
They won't have been expecting that.
Another crash. Uh-oh. It's none of our boys though, again. So this time it's Carlos on the brakes. Uh-oh.
They've lost control, and there's the crash.
That was a pretty heavy shunt, but no VSC or safety car again, so we keep going.
What's your thoughts, Sebastian, on coming in or doing any more?
What a miss.
Yep.
Sebastian not happy with the car. Let's see what Lance has to say. So Lance also not happy, 30% confidence right now. That's not what we want. I am going to let them finish their current run in case we have engine wear issues. So we'll let them rack up track time. Minor ERS damage for Sebastian, so we're starting to get them messages come through. One more lap and we'll bring them both in. And there is Lance, he's had the engine issue, so this is going to be the end of his FP1. So surprisingly, we can actually send Lance back out. That's the first time we've had that message and it hasn't been terminal, so we'll go ahead and reconfigure the setup, which is looking pretty shaky, and we'll send it back out. Right, let's see how this goes. Pretty big adjustments here for Lance. I'm confident this could even be great. I think it all kind of adds up and makes sense. This one's going to be on soft tyres, and we're going to go for 20 laps of fuel. I'm going to try this with Sebastian. I did make some other changes originally, but it wasn't quite adding up. This makes a little bit more sense. We'll see what happens. The bad ones are getting some pretty big flips, although I think cornering and traction might be to the other side because the gap's bigger, which is kind of my instinct. But let's see what happens with this. Same run plan for him, those soft tyres and 20 laps of fuel, so let's get into it. Okay, we've had the warning with Sebastian now regarding engine wear. Again, this could be terminal, but we'll ignore and keep him out. Oh, and Seb makes a mistake. Down at turn 1, luckily no damage, just a bit of an error there running wide. So it won't be too much of an issue.
What's your thoughts on coming in or doing any more?
Car was amazing.
Understood.
Well, that's a personal best. Optimal setup in FP1 on my second attempt. Those were some great adjustments. We'll see what Stroll has to say. We're going to get all of our running done, even with the engine, and also look at that.
How does it feel?
I'm happy with the car.
Are you firm?
We have all of FP2 and FP3 to maximize the setup, get the track acclimatization up, and basically have a bit of fun with it. But that's the first time ever I think I think the last time this season I might even hit optimal in FP1 on both cars. That is insane. Great adjustments for both cars. Now then, FP1 has finished and we have a lot of drama, a lot of tea. As you can see, Verstappen and Bottas with penalties for the race, Mick Schumacher as well. So a very surprising FP1. 3 grid penalties for us though, P18, P19. Slowest of all, even slower than Williams because Ocon crashed. So technically, you know, this isn't a real lap time. So we were slowest and bottom, but that's okay. We've got optimal now, so if we have reliability issues, it's not really a concern. We've got what we need, so I'm very, very happy. Now for FP2 with Sebastian, I'm going to keep the ERS and the gearbox, but we're going to change the engine as we have major damage. We're going to move to Power Unit 2, which is on 69%, keeping the third one, which is the freshest of the bunch, in the high 80s. As for his setup, we're going to try and get 100%. So you can see the oversteer, I've moved it to the left and I've managed to balance out the rest of the values. So we should keep the optimals and hopefully we'll see. But I think this could be 100% optimal. That's my gut feeling. So hopefully that's right. So Seb's done. I'm going to do the same thing with Lance Stroll. As you can see, the engine, the ERS and the gearbox are all pretty damn worn in his case. But it's major damage on the engine. So we'll move to engine number 2, which is 55%. And we'll put that on his car. We'll keep the rest the same, as it is only minor damage for now. We're going to go for mediums with Lance, and also, as for his setup, he's got the exact same car setup as Seb in terms of he's right now on 97%, and the adjustment I've made is the exact same one. I've reduced the front wing by 1 click, and I've brought the camber up by 1 click, and that means we should hopefully get this oversteer, which is great for Lance as well, corrected to optimal, and fingers crossed, this is going to be perfect, and we should hopefully get 100% with both drivers. So Daniel Ricciardo, he's right behind Lance and just loses the back end.
And that's an off, and a big off.
Pretty big shunt.
Sebastian, any thoughts on setup options?
Well done. Car was great.
Copy that.
So we lost a little bit with Sebastian, which isn't ideal.
What do you think?
Yeah, good job. I'm happy.
Copy that.
So Lance is on 99%. Okay, with Sebastian, this is what I'm going to do. So we had green as the optimal. The value to the left, the empty bracket, was the one we just did and it backfired. So we moved it inside and as you can see, everything else is the same. So this should do the trick. I'm pretty confident this will be a 100% optimal. We're going to send them out on soft tyres and an 18 lap run to finish out FP2. Now with Lance, I'm confident I can get 100% as well. It's going to be a toe out adjustment. I'm going to go inside first. Everything else doesn't really change. It's literally just a toe out, which moves the braking stability inwards. If that doesn't work, I'll move to the outside. We'll get this done between FP2 and FP3. Soft tyres, we're going to go for an 18 lap run and get both drivers ready for the final part of FP2. So Leclerc has stacked it. We lost signs, of course. He had a crash earlier on in practice.
Clearly, something went very, very wrong there.
It's been a messy weekend, man. A lot of crashes so far. Anyway, 15 minutes to go.
What's your thoughts, Sebastian, on coming in or doing any more?
Okay, so Seb's happy. Car setup's perfect.
I'm happy with the car.
Copy.
Right then.
Good session.
There we go. Both drivers in FP2 done. And we've got the feedback we need. We'll try and keep refining in FP3.
We return for the next day of our highly anticipated race weekend, which sees the end of practice and the start of qualifying. While many eyes may be drifting ahead to the big race, the teams and their drivers will be fully focused on the task at hand here today. Those who make the most of the free practice sessions will head into qualifying knowing that they've given it their all and done everything in their power to cement themselves a good, strong position on the asphalt tomorrow. Here we go, folks. It's time to get started.
So FP3 about to get underway. I'm happy and confident we can get through the session with the ERS and the gearbox. So we'll keep them as so with the newer engine. As for the setup, we now have great braking stability. So I've made an adjustment to the toe out, bringing it outside. It's the only adjustment I could make, and I think this might give us 100%. We're getting really close now. Either way, 99% is absolutely fine. So it's just trying to get that 100% really. For this session, the only objective is to get track acclimatization up to 100. The second we get that, we'll get 15 out of 15. So we're just going to do some laps basically and get some running. Now with Stroll, we actually went from 99 down to 98, and I went to the left. I'm going to try and go to the right and see what happens. I'm also going to take a chance, especially with his car parts. You can see the gearbox on 20% now, ERS on 23. Let's send him back out. I do have another gearbox to be found 34, which we could use. I think I will actually, just to be safe. I want to get one nice long run in, if possible. And yeah, let's send them out. Soft tyres for both, 25 laps. Let's get into it.
Car was amazing.
Copy that.
Seb's happy. That's what we want. What about Stroll? Feedback in. No radio, but 100%. There we go. Both drivers sorted out beautifully. Right, let's let them have a bit of fun. Right, so FP3 done. Carlos Sainz setting the pace this time for Ferrari, so they respond and find something. Sebastian Vettel finishes P11 after that glory run in the final part of his run in FP3. Stroll P17, and we're in the mix. Even with the old engine components, we're up there. And there's more pace to come once we put on the fresh engine, gearbox, ERS. So I'm confident. I think both cars out of Q1 is going to be the minimum this weekend. I think that's definitely the achievement I want to try and get. Even with Lance, I think out of Q1 is possible. For Seb, I think Q3 is possible. If you look at the gap to Lando in P9, a tenth away, that's achievable. So we're in the fight this weekend. Just to recap, you can see 100% across the board, maximum bonuses. So we're right on the money. We're looking great. This is a very good start to the weekend. A weekend that we need to try and, you know, take full advantage of, as we know it suits our car the best. Okay, let's get into qualifying. Both drivers are going to have their updated car parts. With Sebastian, I am using the slightly older gearbox, not the newest, freshest one. 62% around Hungary should be okay. ERS, though, crucially, 81%, engine now up to 88. As for Lance, engine same as Seb, slightly more on the gearbox and also on the ERS as well. So both drivers at full pelt. I'm going for 3 flying laps around this one. And then 1 flyer at the end, but I'll see if I can maybe have a decent 3-lap run for the first time and try this out and see how it goes. I wouldn't say it's experimenting or fiddling, it's going to be just to see if I can maybe get the job done in that first run. Green flag, both drivers are going out, and we're going to try and get these 3 laps done nice and quickly. Hopefully it all goes well. As you can see, both cars onto the track. Let's get to work. We'll leave them on automatic mode. Unlike in Monaco, where I got a bit too, fiddly and started to micromanage too much, I want to avoid that mistake, so we're going to just, let them do their thing. Well, so no one's going out yet, so we're going to get the track entirely to ourselves. So that's fantastic. We're going to get a completely uninterrupted first time lap, which is exactly what you want. And as you can see, Sebastian Vettel setting the pace 17.3 as an opener. Second lap, Seb is right behind Norris, and we're going to have to tackle Ricciardo, and Seb's got completely stuck behind him throughout the entire middle sector, and now Lance is stuck behind Ricciardo. So the second lap's in the bin. Not ideal. We're now going to get ready for the final run. Hopefully it's a bit better for traffic, although we're probably going to encounter Ricciardo again here. Right, so Seb, clear air. Stroll should get past Ocon in this first sector. No, he doesn't. He's going to get stuck behind. Also, Seb's going to hit traffic there with Sainz and Ricciardo. It's not clean runs, which is not ideal. Really not ideal. I don't think neither driver's going to improve, to be honest. Nope, no improvements. So first lap was the best lap. Right, sending both cars out. 30 seconds delta spare to get round. That should be okay, hopefully. Right, 25 seconds to go. We're going to be fine for time. Let's go on board with Lance Stroll for this final run, and let's see if Lance can deliver. Right then, for the first time this season, right before the summer break, can Lance Stroll get out of Q1? That's the big question here. I'm confident Seb will get the business done. Personal bests in the first sector for both. Checkered flag now drops. Keep a keen eye on the left side to see if anyone behind our boys finishes their laps. Sonoda there, just across the line. He improves, so does Ricciardo. Sonoda only 2 thousandths quicker than Seb. So we're going to need a bit more of an improvement here. Let's see. I think we do have a bit more pace to find. We only got 1 clean lap, and it was the first one, which isn't usually that quick on a multi-lap run. A couple of personal bests again in the middle sector. More lap times coming in, so Latifi's crossed the line. Albon, I believe, has crossed the line, but he's the checker flag hasn't dropped for him. Either way, Sebastian first. Let's see what he can do. Up to the line. Does Seb get out? Let's find out. Across the line. Yep, P13. What about Stroll? Is he in? No. Wow, that's disappointing. That is a big surprise. You know, all the bells and whistles on the car this weekend. Verstappen quickest 15.3. But, you know, that was us at full pace. And, yeah, Lance was closer in the last race than this race, surprisingly, to get into Q2. So, yeah, Seb's through. Q3 looks a little bit far-fetched. Lando has found a bit of pace, so has Alonso in the high 16s. But we'll do our best. I think Seb can definitely usurp Mick Schumacher. I think P12 is on the cards for Sebastian, so we'll try and go for that. So Q2 underway, green flag. I'm going to send Seb out on the tyres that he got through into Q2 with at the end of Q1, which are only slightly worn. And he's done a single lap run based off the previous session where no one went out on track straight away. Or this time it looks like we do have Bottas out there. Hopefully, though, I've sent him out straight away to hopefully get clear track, and a clean lap. Let's see if that works out. Yeah, everyone's going out straight away. This isn't going to work as well. Seb's going to encounter Magnussen and Ocon on his lap. Oh, God. Terrible. That's just straight, delay. I'm going to call him in. We'll call him in and send him back out on that tyre again, but hopefully for a cleaner lap. Okay, this could be fine. As long as nobody leaves the pits ahead of him. Perez is now boxed, so there we go. Seb now will get a clear track on this second run. So let's see if this is going to be a better lap. Same tyres as before. He's got Zhou behind him on a lap. It's going to be green sectors everywhere. Seb hasn't set a lap time that's worthy yet. So let's see. Into sector 3. What's his first lap going to be? Hopefully it's decent. Up to the line. And it's P8. Not that great. But still, we're not a million miles away off Ocon and Magnussen. Okay, it's time for the final Q2 run. Not sure what to expect, to be honest. It's been a bit more disappointing than I would have liked. But, alas, let's go for it. So, Seb on his lap. Fingers crossed he can try to deliver. I think I'll feel a bit more confident if we have a couple of green sectors heading into the last one. That would be ideal. Sector 1 is personal best. What's the Delta saying? Magnussen the 10th in front. Let's see. Hopefully, Sector 2 is an improvement. Magnussen has finished now. He's 99 thousandths ahead of us. Sector 2 is not personal best from Seb, which is disappointing. I think P13 might be the best we can go for. Ocon hasn't improved. Schumacher has jumped us. Zhou stays behind. Let's see, can we nab P13? No, we can't. That's disappointing, man. And there we have it. Seb out. Expectations were a bit high this weekend. Verstappen quickest again, setting the pace. And there we have it. Seb was a thousandth slower in Q2 than in Q1. So, yeah, disappointing, really. 3 cars there on a 0.0. Always feel like maybe there's a bit more pace to find, but yeah, it is what it is. That's qualifying done for us. Hopefully the race pace is a bit better because qualifying was a bit of a letdown. Now then, for this race, split strategy for this one. The fastest strategy is strategy C. Overall race time, you can see it's about 4 seconds faster than what Lance is going for, and it's about 20 seconds faster than strategy B. The idea here is I feel like Seb has pace. I want him to be on the soft tyre, break into the points, and then try to hang in there, and then pit early-ish, and get track position and try and hold it for the entire race. That's the plan. I think that could work. For Lance, we'll try and go a bit longer and try and keep him in the pace, you know, keep him in the race with some pace, but basically pit after Seb a few laps later. So we'll see how that goes. Optimistic to get a point today. I would like to, especially after the last 2 races. Elsewhere, driver options. I'm going to start the race on full push with Sebastian. I'm going to go deploy as well. We're going to go flat out for the start of the race, no messing around. For Lance, I will also go flat out because I want him to break into the top 12 or so and be not too far behind Seb when the race starts to even out. So here we are. Let's jump into it.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. And there's Sebastian Vettel. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Everything's been building to this. And here we go, with the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Right then, straight away, let's get into the action. Off the line. Looks like Seb already into the top 10, getting the jump. As for Stroll, P14. I think there might be some grid penalties because Verstappen is in P18. Bottas P19 and Schumacher P20, so that explains why we're higher up. As you can see, Seb there, and oh!
With a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Is that Stroll out? Is Stroll out? Puncture? Wait. Oh dear. Virtual safety car. Stroll's had a puncture.
Okay.
Terminal front wing damage. Okay. Pit options. Let's go. It's a VSC, so we'll just have to go for the hard tyre and hope for a way back into this race. There's no other way of, doing it. Front wing, yep. Let's go.
Virtual safety car, slow down.
Okay, copy.
Do hard tyres go to the end? 65 laps. No. Okay. We'll keep Seb out. Right, let's calm things down. Stroll's got a penalty.
Okay.
As for Seb, we're in the points. We're P10 right now. So that's good.
Yeah.
So grid penalties, engine penalties, whatever it might be. That's helped us out. So virtual safety car.
Got loads of energy.
Copy.
Stroll struggling to get back to the pits. We're with 3 wheels on his wagon. Hopefully the VSC stays out long enough that Stroll can get at least a cheap pit stop to not lose too much time. But we're not going to be able to go to the end of the race with Lance, so we're going to have to stop again at some point. Okay, so here comes Stroll. Latifi's in the pit lane as well. Hopefully the VSC stays out long enough. You see Stroll struggling to get back. This should be an interesting stop. So first of all, serving the penalty, which is good. We'll get that out of the way. The penalty is going to counteract the advantage we gain with the VSC pretty much. So there we go. Stroll getting his adjustments and he's back on the way. Probably going to be lapped ASAP, but that's just the way it goes. Anyway, Lance back into the race. What a painful race for him. That was a real shame. VSC still out there though. We will just go normal.
Push a bit more.
Copy.
So standard modes for Lance. As for Sebastian, 2.6 behind Norris. Quite a big gap, considering, it was only a lap 1. But anyway, VSC ending. We're going to get Seb ready here for maximum push.
Happy to push.
Copy.
Important that we close the gap to Norris before DRS gets enabled.
Virtual safety car ending.
And here we go then. Back underway.
You can use energy.
Copy.
We're going to try and chase Norris. You can see Norris is on a used set of soft, so is Russell, Hamilton and Leclerc. So we've got a tyre advantage. Magnussen on a fresh set like us as well. But let's try and close the gap here. 1.7 right now. We've managed to drop Magnussen. Crash in sector 2. We'll find out who that is. Another yellow flag. It's one of the McLarens. It's Lando Norris.
Yellow exit.
Here's the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Seb was hunting Lando down. This has happened just out of frame.
And there we see the crash.
That's a big shunt for Lando. But that's now Sebastian up into P9. But we've got work to do to catch up to Ocon now. 2.2 seconds. So hopefully we can close in and get that gap down. Look at that. New fastest lap from Sebastian. Come on, Seb. Let's try and get behind the Alpines here and get into their DRS. That would be ideal. As DRS re-enabled next lap. Lando into the pits for a front wing change. That's going to set him back quite a way. Right, come on, Seb. 1.3, 1.2. And there we go. We've got what we want. We can chill now. So Stroll currently being lapped. The 2 Ferraris have got through. Hamilton next up. As for Seb, I'm just going to try and manage things here to make sure he doesn't drop out of DRS range, as DRS will now be enabled. So we're basically going to sit behind the Alpines and manage everything. You can see we've got a different tyre strategy. I could try to push to get past, but I want to try and save some tyres and recharge battery if I can, then maybe we might look to make a move. Now, interestingly, I've got the ERS set to harvest with Sebastian. Now, Perez in P4 is holding up Russell and Gasly. He's dragging them along. Alonso's out of DRS range, just behind, as you can see, and then Ocon is out of DRS range of his own teammate. So, as things stand, if we could get ahead of the two Alpines and latch onto Gasly, that would be quite nice. So, we're going to keep pushing with Seb once we get some battery recharge. We're going to try to use these soft tyres in this first stint a little bit. So, let's try and aim to get past Ocon in the next 2 laps. Also because Verstappen is on the fight back. I want to try and keep him behind as long as I possibly can. Now, interestingly, Lance Stroll has had to get out of the way of everybody on this lap. So, he's about to get lapped by Seb. We are going to give him the instruction of don't fight teammate. Very important here. Let's see if Stroll receives the instruction. Just get out of the way, Lance. Don't get involved with Seb. There we go. Sebastian will get past. Lovely. We've only got 1 car in this race. I'm really not going to focus on Stroll, unfortunately, because of the damage. We're going to just solely focus on Seb to try and maximise points with 1 car. So here we go. We're full power on the engine, deploy battery, and also fuel. Do we have what it takes? Down to turn 1. To the outside, side by side. Sebastian, Ocon going at it. Still side by side on the exit, but Seb gets the horsepower down and moves ahead. Let's keep the engine modes on to get within a second of Fernando. And then we'll try to get past him as well. But we're going to go for a recharge phase and get 100% recharge back before we then have to push the move that Seb couldn't achieve in 2021. He gets it done in 2022. Okay, Seb's in full recharge mode now as we try to save a bit of fuel and ERS. DRS open, so he's going to naturally just catch Alonso on the straight easily. Verstappen approaching now and lurking with the fastest lap. So this battle is going to continue soon. Gasly doing a great job. Perez also going for the move on Russell here for P4. Further back though, we're trailing behind Alonso. Verstappen looking for the pass on Ocon, who doesn't have DRS by the looks of it. I think Lance, we might have to consider just retiring the car. I mean, he's got damage on chassis and suspension. I might consider letting Max go, and we try to latch onto the back of him. You can see Seb goes through on Fernando, and we'll have the DRS.
That's it.
So that's Seb up into P7. Verstappen unable to get by, so
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
you can see this battle still going on.
Yeah, copy.
Don't mind Verstappen going through, that's not the end of the world. Just don't let Ocon through.
Currently P8.
Verstappen going through on Fernando and has got through. So now we're going to try it. Okay, try again. Now we're on the straight, we can start to push.
Use energy if you need.
Copy.
So the plan is to go flat out and to also keep pushing and hopefully latch into Verstappen's DRS. Bit of a stretch, but we'll give it a shot. So we get the overspeed and we get the move done. That's 1.7 now, a gap to Verstappen. Make it 1.2, 1 second. Verstappen's fighting right now. We're dropping Ocon, who's also past Alonso. We're just outside the 1 second barrier. I think Max is just a little bit too quick for us. And we're not going to get DRS, I don't think. No, we're not. New fastest lap though. Encouraging. Meanwhile, the Alpines are battling behind, which is good.
Okay, suggest lift and coast.
Okay, I've just found the option. We're going to retire the car with Lance. There's no point. He's super slow. I know I've got more conserve, but there's no point wasting the engine with him. Even if we get a safety car, we're not going to compete. We're just too slow. So we're going to retire the car with Lance. So here's Lance into the pit lane. Race over for him. Legit, we're so thin on engines right now, components, there's no point in us, trying to keep him out. Seb now 3.5 behind. Verstappen, Ocon 1.4 drift, dragging Alonso with him. We'll jump Hamilton, who's in the pit lane. Meanwhile, Alonso gets past Ocon again, as the Alpines use DRS to leapfrog and close the gap on us. We'll jump Russell, who's now in the pits, but let's see. Obviously, we'll go backwards once we pit. Instead, pulling away from Alonso here. This is fantastic from Sebastian Vettel. And Leclerc's made a mistake. I just saw that on the mini-map, so we're going to gain a place. Don't even get to see it, but Leclerc is on the right, beached in the gravel trap. Pit window now open for us, as the Alpines leapfrog again. Alonso now trying to catch, but we're still keeping the gap, although this time it looks like Alonso might be catching us for good, as I'm not running push mode. I'm trying to not use too much fuel. Alonso gets past Sebastian this time, as we also tackle Latifi as lap traffic gets in the way. Alonso able to break
Good overtake from Alpine.
DRS, which isn't good.
Here's the replay. Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
So Alonso around the outside of Seb, 6 World Championships going at it. And Alonso gets through, and also there's Leclerc. Latifi got in the way, so we're going to respond by pushing. We're already flat out with Seb. I'm going to try and cut the gap. If we can extend this by a couple of laps, that would really help.
Some lift and coast will help that.
Yeah, copy.
Here comes Charles. Alonso has got away, and I want to try and catch up to him if I can. Leclerc not able to get the legs on the straight, even though we're using Harvest on the battery. Let's see, down the second straight, down to turn 2. And Leclerc still not able to get by. Let's try and hold on here. The longer we hold on, the better. We could even go to a set of mediums if we can extend this by 1 or 2 more laps, maybe. There goes Leclerc, though, he gets through the chicane. Seb's actually dropped out of DRS range, which isn't good. Right, so we're struggling on tyres now. Before we commit, what options do we have? 47 laps on the set of mediums. No, let's play it safe. Let's go for hards. Right, into the pit lane we go. Seb in for his stop. One and only stop onto the hard tire. Let's get it done. Come on, boys. Need a nice quick stop here. 2.6. That training's starting to pay off now. Back underway. He's going to rejoin in a nice bit of clean air just behind Mick Schumacher, which is good. Okay, Gasly, Perez, Alonso all in the pits, so it's now time to push. We've got tyres still 94%. We're going to stand in on that, but fuel a bit more of a push. You can see Alonso is 8 seconds up the road. What tyre is he going for? Hard tyre. Okay, so we've leveled the playing field a bit. So the soft tyre start has been worth it. I'd like to catch Fernando. Let's see if we can make some progress. Bottas behind on the fight back. Has he pit yet? Yes, he has. So he's on a bit more worn tyres than us, but we're going to have to start pushing here. Well, I'm just thinking we could actually latch on to Bottas, to be fair. He can maybe drag us along. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So, let's see. I'll let Bottas go by here. So there goes Valtteri. DRS open. Easy move. We let him go by, of course, with Harvest Energy. Trying to make sure Seb keeps up with Valtteri here, because, you know, in practice, Valtteri was the 4th quickest car. So this is a great wheel to follow if we can stay there. You can see the gap to Alonso now is 6.2 seconds.
So Sebastian, we are all okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Ocon pit exit. He's going to jump us, I think. It's going to be close. It's going to be bloody close, and this is going to ruin our progress. We need to not let Bottas go.
So use energy.
Copy.
Oh, damn it, this is terrible. We needed to clear Ocon. We need to follow Bottas. That's our car. That's our golden ticket. But this has really ruined it for us. Alpine have played a blinder on strategy, and they've managed to get Ocon in our way. That's going to help Alonso massively. Okay, change of plan. We're not going to get past, so we'll try and recharge behind Ocon instead. Verstappen's had a spin, and it's pretty much like the real life thing. So Verstappen having a moment, that's going to cost him some time, as he's currently on the hunt, chasing down Charles Leclerc. As for Seb, we're just chilling now behind Ocon here. Bottas has gone, he's racing after Alonso. Charles Leclerc into the pits for the 2nd time, and so is Russell. Bottas pits, Magnussen pits. Okay, that's interesting. So a few cars are in, Hamilton's in there as well, so a few 2-stoppers. Let's see, I'm going to try and go for a move on Ocon here. We're out of the DRS range right now, which isn't good.
Use energy if you need it. Use energy.
Just don't step aside. Please, Seb, just push. Don't step aside. Oh, damn it, he's going to move over. Bottas is going to catch us now because of that, so that's not good. We're going to struggle to even get a point this race. The strategies have really moved around, so we're going to move here. Seb goes through. Let's see. Can we drop Ocon maybe? Bottas going through at the same time.
Great play there. They've moved up a place.
Let's try and stay on Sainz's DRS if we can. That would be nice. That would be ideal. This is really awkward. I don't know what to do, man. We're P9 to be fair. I didn't realise that not Ocon, someone has pit. I can't tell who it is, but someone's pit and we've gained a place. I think it might be Schumacher. I've been so focused on trying to keep Vettel within DRS range that I didn't notice. So we could get a point. Ocon has passed Bottas here. We'll see. We're going to have to manage this as best as we can. Tyre wear is an issue. Not in terms of making it to the end, but compared to others around us. So Ocon is going to go through. Bottas as well, maybe. Seb's harvesting right now, so it is what it is. Okay, this isn't good. Ocon's pulling away. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want Ocon to stay with us here, so we're going to push on.
Now we see Valtteri Bottas.
Not your usual taking spot, but Valtteri gets it done. Fair play. That's a nice move from him. Okay, it's time to make a decision here. So, Ocon struggling to keep up with Valtteri. So, we are going to push.
Happy to push.
Copy.
Ideally, I want Ocon to drop out of the DRS range, which he has done, so we can get past and latch onto Bottas. That would be ideal at this stage to wrap up and solidify that P10. So let's see. Can we get Ocon here? Lovely. Straight through. And now onto Bottas and also clear the Williams traffic, please. Nice. Did Ocon get held? No, but he might get held. Oh, yes. Ocon's been held badly. Okay, there we go. That's all we needed. Bottas has dropped us straight away. I can't even run light mode. I'm just going to have to run standard on tyres. Otherwise, we've got no chance of keeping up. I don't want to lose or drop back into Ocon, as we've got the gap we want now. As Ocon also got lapped on that one, so we've got a nice gap now. Dropped out of DRS again, man. Lost 2/10 in the last two corners, which is really, really poor. Okay, we've managed to get DRS again, but we're getting lapped, which isn't good.
We need to charge it.
We'll get another chance when the Red Bull laps Bottas to latch back on. Okay, we've dropped out of range definitively now. I wasn't able to get back up to Bottas. He's got DRS on the Red Bull and it's just following perfectly, so we'll see. Maybe now he has to let the Red Bull back past again. He might slow down again, who knows, but he's trying to unlap himself, but we're just not able to keep up. So Carlos Sainz onto the last lap of the race. You can see him there making 20 to sector 2. So this is our last lap as well. I'm just going full push now to see what we can do. It looks like that we are going to get a point, which is good. For the first time in a few races, we're going to bag a point, which is healthy for us and something we needed quite badly. So then Seb on a personal best middle sector. Sainz with the victory. Verstappen's going to finish P2. Charles Leclerc P3. Perez P4 ahead of Gasly. Then we have Russell, Hamilton, a lap down, Alonso, Bottas, and then ourselves. We finish P10, so we score a point, and Ocon misses out. So we do get the upper hand and get one of the Alpines here today.
Sebastian Vettel sure knows how to show Formula One fans a good time. Great work. Aston Martin having an extremely good day at the track.
The whole team was absolutely on their game today, and the result proves that.
After the race, they sit in 7th place in the constructor standings.
Next time, the teams will be adding another year to the legend of Spa-Francorchamps. Anything can happen at the Belgian Grand Prix.
So the results are in. Carlos Sainz wins comfortably in Hungary. Verstappen, who was the fastest man this weekend by far, had to fight back from the back of the grid and finished in P2. So very similar to real life in many ways. Leclerc P3 on a 2-stop with the fastest lap. Round up the podium, and then we have Perez, Gasly, Russell, Hamilton, Alonso, Bottas, and we score a point with Seb in P10. Personal best 18.9 on the last lap there, not too shabby. Ocon out the points, and then of course Stroll down in P20 out of the race with car damage after that lap 1 crash. Driver standings, Seb P11 still holding it down, 9 points behind Ocon, so it's a good thing we managed to outscore him here today. Although realistically I think he's a bit far away. 11 points ahead of Sonoda. In the Constructors we're still P7, but we do gain a point, and we're now 20 points ahead of McLaren again. 16 behind Alfa Romeo. Again, Bottas was pretty strong today, but we'll see. It's now time for a season break, and that could be big. Now, elsewhere, bonuses, we're going to get, of course, very little for Lance due to the issues. For Seb, 1,100 points. So, okay, it's nothing to rave about, but that'll do. Bonuses, outgoing, of course, we hit a points clause with Seb, so we're going to lose 1.4 mil, but we hit our guarantees, so we pretty much bring in the standard amount for every weekend. Anyway, let's get to the laptop and the menu, and let's try and do some work. We've also got that board review, so let's see what they have to say. So we're not wasting any time. I've had a chance to do absolutely nothing, and the board review is in. So the target was P8, and we're currently P7, so we've achieved that goal. You can see to score 50% in of points in the season's races, and we've got 4 out of 11 so far, and it's a 3-season target, so we're well on course to hopefully smash that by next season. Possibly even, if the second half of the season is insane, we could actually hit it, but probably next season realistically. As you can see, they're high. They've given us a bonus 1.5 mil, and the team rating has gone up to 2.5 out of 5, so a positive start to the season. The boardroom facility has also been improved. Great timing on that, so happy to see they're happy and we're moving in the right direction. First of all, Lance Stroll has a development point, so we'll go ahead and spend it on braking as always, as that is his deficiency. 4-week break now. If you look at the calendar, you can see we've got nothing until the 26th, so yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely considering an upgrade for the second half of the season to keep us sharp and fast. Once we get the front wing research, we could consider doing an upgrade during these weeks to kind of help speed up the improvement process. Now this is the boardroom upgrade. You can see the team attractiveness has gone up, and also the race confidence gain has gone up quite a bit. Bit more expensive to keep up, but that's okay. Drogovic scouting complete. So we'll take care of this in a moment. Lance Stroll has low morale. Okay, not super concerned. We then have monthly car development. So yeah, we're still kind of, you know, floundering around P17, P15, P12 in acceleration, to be fair. Not too bad, we're making some progress there, but we need to improve a bit more. We're still lacking a little bit. Post-race review, financial report. I know we're doing final finances, so I'm not really too concerned. And then the board saying they're happy, and yeah, we've got another meeting in 4 months' time. So let's do a few things here. So we've done our scouting on Felipe Drogovic. As you can see, it's detailed. Not too shabby. Decent stats, 70 rated and high growth potential. His aggression's low, but we might be able to work on that. Either way, I'm tempted to offer him a contract, and I want to get this done. So this would be for car number 2. I'm not sure how this would work. I'm going to go reserve, and then we can swap him with Stroll. Surely that's how it would work in my mind. Let's test the waters with this, just to kind of get an idea as to what we're looking at with this contract. I'm considering retiring soon. That can't be right. Drogovic is going to consider retiring soon. Huh. Anyway, he's accepted, so may as well. Let's do it. There we go. Why not? Happy days. So Felipe Drogovic is our new reserve driver, as you can see. So we'll have him do some FP1s, replacing Stroll and Seb on the occasional weekend. Mostly Stroll, as we're planning to replace him for next season. Naturally, I think when Stroll's contract obviously finishes, Drogovic should step up. I think that's how it works. I don't actually know. I'm kind of learning here. I might have messed up. Who knows? Either way, we'll find out. I'm sure things can always be amended or changed if necessary. Race sim update, which is good. That's going to help us a little bit in terms of pace. Both drivers will be happy with that. And we have finished our research for the front wing for next season's car. That is big. Very, very big. So, very happy with this. You can see front wing is finished as requested. we've got a report. You should consider starting another research project to boost our car part expertise even further. So, before we start that, we're going to work on upgrades for the second half of the season. I want to try and keep us competitive as we're on the cusp of points every single race. So we can now offer a contract to Seb. Time has passed. His patience is actually medium. It's not even low, it's medium. So we may get 2 stabs at this. So let's drop the contract. So we're going to give him a 4-year deal, which is I think what he wants. We'll meet the financial requirements, but we're going to push the bonus threshold to 7th instead of 8th because I'm giving him everything else. Please, Seb, this should be it. This should do the job. Finally. No? What? Declined. Seb, come on, man. What's going on? Try one more. Finally. My God, that was so tough. Okay. I think we're done. I think we've got our drivers. Thank God for that. My God, that was stressful. We're ready for next season with both drivers. We can now start working on their skills. There we go. Development points spent. Now we're a bit low on some parts, so we're going to go ahead and manufacture some emergency parts, well, some rush ones anyway. So we'll go for a chassis. We also need, I believe, suspension, so we'll do a couple more of those. We'll rush a couple through. We just need one, just in case we have any issues or crashes. And we're done. We're finally at Belgium. The summer break has finished. Still the same car. Might consider taking engine penalties at this race, if not Monza, for the rest of the season. So I think we're going to have to take one at some point. So it might be worth taking out a power circuit and then hopefully fighting back through the field. But there we go. We've confirmed Seb and Dragovic's contracts. And we're going to let Lantis just run out. Hopefully then we'll put Dragovic in the second seat during the off-season. That should be how it works, at least in my mind. But leave a like if you enjoy, guys, for the points finish. Subscribe for more. Things are looking good for next season, and things are moving in the right direction. As always, a massive shout out to the members for supporting the content. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.